Hi, I'm Sean Benson of Victoria Ska Society, and I'm here with Grammy Award-winning and multiple inductee of Hall of Fame, Booker T. Jones. Thank you for joining us this evening, Mr. Jones.
Oh, thank you, Sean. Thank you for having me.
So let's start from the early days. What's your earliest significant memory of experiencing music?
Hearing my mother play piano as a young kid. My mother played Debussy and Liszt on the piano. I remember hearing Clara de Lune and trying to reach the piano with my own little two fingers and trying to tiptoe up. My grandmother was a piano teacher. She had a piano. Those are my first musical memories.
How would you describe the difference of the performing experience as a frontman or band leader compared to playing backup for another frontman?
I had some great experiences as a sideman for bands when I was a young kid. That's basically how I learned to play music. Ben Branch's band at the Club Paradise at the Courage Club Tropicana in Memphis. I played bass and baritone sax in Willie Mitchell's band. I learned music. I played bass at the Flamingo Room. I was a sideman in Memphis for Gene Bolex Miller's band, and that's how I met Al Jackson Jr., my drummer. And I played piano in Tuff Green's band. That's how I learned all the standards that I eventually produced for Willie Nelson's Stardust album. I played a lot of songs as a sideman with Neil Young, on tour with him over in Europe and around the States. I did a lot of work as a sideman with Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and that was pleasurable playing their songs. It's a completely different role. I enjoy it. It's a fill-in role, but there's less responsibility and sometimes a lot more freedom. The other side of the coin, being a frontman, is quite a bit more responsibility for originating the music and making sure that it gets performed correctly. But then there's a lot more rewards in a lot of ways. As a frontman, you get to make your own choices, the type of music you're doing, the venues you're playing. I got to front Booker T and the MGs as a Hammond organ player. That was a very odd position to be a front man, but it was something that I've really enjoyed. So there are pluses and minuses to both.
Have you ever experienced any obstacles from performing with bands that are solely instrumental?
Yes, when I started, there were a lot of instrumental bands, and the genre was played on the radio, maybe a little bit more than it is now. Instrumental music that is prominent now is mostly EDM, dance music. There are a lot of great instrumental dance music artists now, but they don't get the front and center of the vocals and the songs that have words. So once again, there's two sides to that coin, of which I enjoy both.
So one of my favorite albums of all time is Bill Withers' Just As I Am. What sort of roles did you play in the production of the album?
My role was to make a piece of music that would bring Bill to the attention of the public. He was completely obscure when I met him. He was building airplane toilets in Inglewood, and he loved music, he loved writing songs, but he didn't have the ambition to become a singer. I think he wanted to maybe make some money as a songwriter in Hollywood. But I encouraged him to sing his own songs and to get in the studio and make an album.
When did you first become aware of Jamaican rocksteady music in general?
I think my drummer, Al Jackson Jr., was the guy that got us into it. He was more aware of it than the other band members. We ended up recording a song called Soul Limbo that was something of an attempt, I think, to copy Jamaican reggae.
Have you worked with artists in the ska, rocksteady, or reggae genres before?
Only Rancid in the Valley out in San Francisco. The San Fernando Valley.
Right, Up to No Good. And
yeah.
how did you feel playing the ska genre compared to other genres that you played?
That was fun. Playing with that band was fun. The day went by quickly, and it was high energy. A friend of mine was driving me around the valley in San Fernando. We stopped by their studio.
Throughout the years of performing on stage as a band leader and also as a backup, do you have any show that stands out in your mind as the perfect show or your favorite show?
Yeah, probably the best shows that I played in my history have been shows with Steve Cropper and Al Jackson Jr., Donald Duck Dunn, Sam and Dave, and Otis Redding, Arthur Conley, and in Europe. Those shows had a lot of energy, and they were quite different from the records that we had made. And they were very much enjoyable. We had huge audience participation, or rather huge energy from the audience. And so they were taped and recorded, and it was just a pleasure to be on stage for almost all those shows.
Great. Well, thanks for coming out, Booker.
Well, thanks for having us
Seeing
on.
the shows.